Most of the gimmicky weapons in Far Cry 4 are locked behind story missions way too far into the game. But there's this. The elephant gun is a lethal one-shot weapon, with the drawback of holding only 2 rounds in the chamber and a very slow reload speed. So with that in mind, is it possible to beat Far Cry 4 using only the elephant gun? The game begins with our character AJ traveling to Kyrat to fulfill his mother's dying wish and spread her ashes in Lakshmana. Due to civil unrest, our party boss gets shot up, and Pagan Min appears, a character I can only describe as a maxed out charisma build. Surprisingly, he knows us, welcomes us, and also puts a bag over our head. After a long yapping session, our hosts leave abruptly. And while the Crab Rangoon was definitely the star of the show, there was just something about the torture noises coming from the basement. After we make our way downstairs, the leader of the Golden Path helps us escape. As we drive away, the enemies forget how to drive. Then our getaway driver also forgets how to drive. We finish the tutorial section by sneaking around, and then we get to defend an outpost against an incoming attack. Out of boredom, I throw a potato at one of the enemies, and he kind of overreacted and just passed away. So did the next guy, and the guy after that. This was no ordinary potato. This was the potato of mass destruction. Then an avalanche ruins our fun and Sabal digs us out. He leads us back to the village where we're immediately given the stank eye. Anyway, time to introduce the big boy. There it is, an absolute powerhouse. On our first tower clear, we're given a choice. Shoot the guard or shoot the beehive. To my surprise, the weapon completely annihilated the bees, and mistakes were made. After clearing the tower and returning to the village, I quickly realized it uses sniper rifle ammo, one of the most expensive ammo types in the game. It's 3 grand per shot. I don't know if this weapon is pay to win or pay to play, but I do know this village needs our help. And maybe we'll impress Amita along the way.
Amita sent me over. She said you might have some kind of wild animal problem.
Wild animal problem? Homie, she has a drinking problem. Look at her guzzle that thing. After getting rid of the pack of wolves, skinning them and destroying their home, we head back and our guy goes, "Hey, Amita, got you these pelts." And she's only mildly impressed. Now, those pelts will come in handy. If you're familiar with this game, you will know that upgrades require animal skins. This is where we run into our next problem. Our weapon is so powerful that it damages the skins, making them unusable, unless we get a clean headshot. Animals like boars and pigs weren't a problem since they were much slower than me, and I could easily catch up. That hunt gave us a syringe and an ammo upgrade. Predators like wolves and snow leopards attacked us, which conveniently gave me a clear opportunity to shoot them in the head without damaging the skin. That earned me another syringe and another ammo upgrade. Burrows, however, were impossible to catch. They had the same speed as me, and no matter how long I chased them, the distance stayed the same. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter who kills them, they just need to die. Yes, I chased them until a roadkill happened. This got us a wallet upgrade and a bigger ammo bag. As for those snot animals, I stole their skins from leopards that hunted them, which gave me another syringe upgrade. So in total, we ended up with 30 round carry capacity and 6 syringes. Also, all of this didn't happen at once, I just grouped it together for the sake of story cohesion. Now, our freedom fighting friends need weapons to fight for freedom, and we get them from a local crackhead. Or I guess in these parts it's Opium Head. Suddenly we get interrupted and receive news that our village is being raided. After repelling the invaders and saving a child, we go on the offensive and raid one of the enemy outposts. Me wielding the elephant gun combined with an actual elephant meant the outpost stood no chance. Then a choice presents itself. Sabal wants to help protect a camp, while Amita on the other hand wants to go after some intel. And I'm sorry, but unless that intel is the passcode to the #1 Bitcoin wallet, I don't see how that's worth it. Although in retrospect, I probably should have gone after the intel, because these hunters are absolutely ruthless. I couldn't play it too safe because then they would slaughter the rebels. And I couldn't fight them head on either, because then they would slaughter me. Unlike my 6th attempt, I somehow managed to fluke it, and most of us stayed alive. After that, we went to de-stress and experience the local culture. Maybe do a bit of sightseeing, engage in local activities such as shooting people. We head back to the opium head to check in on the gun deal, and he sends us to that place where Partnax chills. We go on a goose chase looking for some boxes, and when we return them to him, it turns out they're full of diamonds. So I guess that's our payment for the weapons. As we arrive to meet Amira and Sabal, another choice presents itself: a field of opium poppies. Amira wants to secure it. Since Kyrat is without natural resources, this would provide a financial incentive. Sabal wants to torch it, arguing that turning Kyrat into a drug state isn't the answer. And I completely agree. When I reached the field, a realization hit me. What exactly am I supposed to destroy it with? Have I just compromised the challenge because of my morals? Luckily, no. Each field and opium stack had an explosive nearby, so as long as these muppets didn't turn on the sprinklers, we were fine. During my short time here, I started to connect with nature, and nature started connecting with me. But there was a reason for that connection. We already knew that AJ's mother was from here, but it turns out his father was the founder of the Golden Path. So we go visit our family home, where we find this charming Australian couple, charming enough to distract us and drug us. We wake up as we're being dragged into a fighting pit by half-naked women, which, by the way, I still have very mixed feelings about. Inside the arena, all of our weapons are taken away, and with no option to deal environmental damage, I was forced to pick up the closest thing I could find. After going a little bit too hard in the fighting pit, we get a word with Nor, who runs this place, but not willingly. Paul, one of Pagan's lieutenants, has her family. When the time is right, she promises to leak information about an opening for us to go after Paul. We head back to our family home and evict the uninvited guests, but not before they tell us about the Tanka painting that used to hang on the wall. And thank God we only have to do this once. A spiritual trip follows, where we relive a moment from the life of this legendary warrior, where he runs around ignoring enemies, and whenever problems arise, just lets Kitty deal with them. After returning to the present, Amira informs us that Paul is trying to destroy an ancient temple as part of his campaign against the Golden Path. And all I'm gonna say is, God bless these ammo boxes. With the sheer number of enemies, I'm not even sure I would have made it halfway to the top without them. Also, what exactly was this grenade waiting for? Maybe it was its first day on the job and the little guy was a bit nervous. At some point, a helicopter shows up and we're able to shoot out the pilots. We light the braziers, save the temple, and then head back to Nor, who keeps her word and tells us about an available opening to go after Paul. After causing a distraction and spreading the guards, we sneak into the van. Hey, what up? What's good? Once we arrive to the City of Pain, we have to free some hostages. And it's honestly funny how relaxed they are afterwards. Oh, you've been tortured for like 16 hours straight? Yeah, just walk it off. Act all nonchalant. One of them even decided to go back to the torture position. After getting close to Paul and disguising ourselves as a prisoner, we get the jump on him. The alarm goes off and we have to shoot our way out. In all the chaos, I accidentally grabbed some random goon instead of Paul. So I had to backtrack and grab the right guy, and then ended up in a massive fight because I wasn't fast enough to shove him into the truck. We bring him back to the Golden Path, where I thought they were going to extract some information from him, but no, they just wanted to torture him. Later, we're given another choice. Basically the drug debate all over again. Amira wants to keep them, Sabal wants them destroyed. And my stance hasn't really changed since the last time. So once again, I went with Sabal. I grabbed the satchel of explosives, hoping I wouldn't need it, and as I was about to fly off, what the hell, man? Even the glider got weirded out. When I arrive at the drug factory, I get scared all over again. How am I supposed to destroy anything here? Then I remember I'm wielding a literal cannon. We destroy the cables, the enemy's will to live, and even the chimney. Once it collapses, we head inside to plant some explosives. I made sure no enemies died to the blast by executing them myself. Another choice was coming up, and I already knew I was going to side with Sabal. All of his proposals seemed reasonable. He called me brother and even saved me that one time. I really felt like he was making all the right choices.
Tradition? Like what? Marrying little girls?
Wait, what? Children? I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, but before you judge me, know this. Yes, I was on the sex island, but only for the snorkeling. I didn't know anything about the kid stuff. No.
Both of them want Noor dead, but I didn't feel like she was entirely guilty. She helped us to get to Paul, so at the very least, she deserved to be heard out first. Unfortunately, she doesn't take the news of her family being long gone very well and offs herself right in front of us. Sure, we've seen death since arriving in this country, but this one was different. And what about the Golden Path leaders? Were they always this bloodthirsty? They wanted to torture Paul just for the sake of it, and they wouldn't even listen about Noor. And me? They started ordering me around like I was just a little soldier. At some point, we have to free Willie. The first part has to be done through stealth. And the gameplay is absolutely disgusting. After spending 40 minutes crawling around like a toddler on the outskirts and praying I wouldn't get randomly spotted, Willie finally lands his plane. His deal immediately goes bad, and we have to bail him out. You have to give me credit though, the vision was there. Then comes the whole section where we have to protect him from an incoming attack, followed by fighting off a helicopter. At some point, the game just starts throwing random bullshit at us. Snipers, mortar shells, RPG missiles, an application crash, another helicopter. Man, bless that checkpoint. While we're yapping with Willie, he casually mentions he's CIA. Also, while we're yapping, one of the goons sneaks into a plane with the files we need and takes off. We chase him by launching a quad off a ramp, wingsuiting after the plane, casually opening the door mid-flight, grabbing the files, and finishing it off with a grenade. Red Bull wants to know your location, AJ. Where did this come from? Huh? You did all that just to die like that? CIA Willie turns out to have a lot of information about our parents, but of course it doesn't come free. He sends us to the Himalayas to kill one of Yuma's lieutenants. At one point I decide to just sprint past everything. We were sent here to eliminate one guy. I doubt CIA pays for extra work. After the amazing experience we just had, we get to do it all over again, but this time for another lieutenant. And it's mandatory that we kill him with a knife. No way around it. After we make our escape, we basically film another Red Bull commercial or a live leak video, depending on which footage I show. It turns out CIA Willie is a rat bastard, and all of this was about cleaning up loose ends. And I guess our involvement makes us a loose end. Honestly, I should have seen this one coming. He shoved us like twice already. Anyway, one of the goons knocks us out, and that's how we end up in a prison. We don't really stay there long. We craft ourselves a makeshift hook while that terrifying thing chases us. Then make our way down to the concentration camp below. We sneak past most of the guards and just jump over the gate at the end. After sleeping like a baby and waking up to Sabal watching over us, we immediately head to Amira. She wants to take the fight to the north. We grab a fuel truck to blow our way in. We blast open an entrance and secure the outpost. But that's just the first part. Now we have to defend it. During the second part of this mission, the enemies moved differently, man. Calling them coordinated would be an understatement. This felt like an actual Navy SEAL team or a GSG-9 unit. They were providing cover, pushing together, snipers locking down windows, and the moment I stepped outside, mortar shells started raining down on me. This was the most stressed I've been all game. In a very good way. This was peak. The fight dragged on so long that my backup finally arrived. They drew the attention away, letting me finish the mission. With the bridge secured, the rest of the map opens up for us. Sabal then sends us to check in on some resistance fighters stationed in a nearby village. That's when Pagan shows up and does what dictators do. We decide this is our chance to strike and go after him. I didn't really have a plan, just try to front run him, hop out and take a shot. But then, right as I'm about to do that, something weird happens. I was completely lost. I died, but apparently so did he. I checked the map to see if the mission was still there, but it wasn't. That's when I realized how cheesy this was. I wanted to restart, but the game uses automatic saving and had already saved right after I completed the mission. I mean, it is what it is. Pagan then doxes Yuma on national television. He leaks her government name, her Roblox account, her location, and dares us to take a swing at her. While we're not looking, she blows some powder in our face and sends us on a trip. As we walk up a stream of blood, we see Sabal executing people, preaching something about the gods. A rat leads us to where Yuma is, and she starts whispering sweet nothings in our ear. Once again, I have mixed feelings about this whole arrangement. We're pulled into a boss fight where once again our weapon is taken away and replaced with a bow. After shooting down a vase and stunning a transformed Yuma, we have to follow up with a takedown a couple of times. Eventually, Yuma is defeated and we walk away victorious. When we go back, our Golden Path friends are beefing again. This time, it's about a religious temple. Sabal wants to protect it, while Amira wants to loot it and use the resources for the future of Kyrat. The more I thought about it, the more those images from the mines came back to me. What were they? A warning? A vision? And the way Sabal used religion as justification for those killings. Amira saw religion as an oppressive regime, which is why she's pushing so hard against it. And Badr is the prime example. Sure, if she's made Tarun Matara, she's guaranteed a life of luxury. She never made that choice. So maybe Kyrat really is due for a change. And that's why I went with Amira for this one. When we reach the temple, we're met with a sea of enemies. We give the rebels access to the temple, and in return, they hand us a satchel of explosives. Once they're planted, we make our getaway. It could have gone badly, but they managed to sink their own boat. Then the Royal Guard goes on the offensive and strikes one of the villages. We shoot people off weapons, then shoot people to protect the people destroying those weapons. But my mind kept bouncing back and forth. Did I make the right choice supporting a leader? Or did I just choose the lesser evil? When we return to Amira, she orders us to kill Sabal. She now holds all the power and sees him as a threat. For me, this wasn't personal. Letting him go was just repaying the debt for the time he saved us. So I chose to spare him. All of our work finally leads to an assault on Pagan's fortress. And oh boy, it is an assault. Fire everywhere, RPG shots flying, people dying left and right. It even got too much for the royal army, they started retreating. When we reach the second gate, we have to blow it open. I tried using a nearby car to create an explosion, but it did absolutely nothing. I really thought I was cooking there. After using 3 grenades to progress, we move into an open area where we have to capture different objectives. The only real issue was that when I unfortunately passed away, there was no checkpoint in that section. So I had to restart from scratch. Eventually, we repel the Royal Army's forces and get to destroy Pagan's golden statue. Talk about karma. Once the statue falls with fewer casualties, Pagan invites us to his royal palace. While driving there, I start thinking about everything. About the war I was never even supposed to be a part of. And all because of what? Because we perceived Pagan as the villain and the Golden Path as the good guys simply because they were resistance fighters? From the very beginning, Pagan was decent to us, welcoming even. While the people who promised us help lied, manipulated us, and used us for their own advantage. And then it hit me. Just like Sabal used religion and tradition as an excuse for his actions. And just like Amira used Badra and the push for change as an excuse for hers. We used our mother's ashes as an excuse to scorch the earth. Pagan saw through that. Twisted as he was, he saw people for what they are. I wasn't the justice police. By pretending I was, I did more harm than good. As Pagan leads us to Lakshmana, he explains that it's not a place, but a person. Age's half-sister and Pagan's daughter, who was killed by Age's father during a family dispute. We place AJ's mother's ashes beside Lakshmana and finally fulfill her dying wish. As for Pagan, I let him go. This was no longer my fight. I returned to Amira only to confirm what I already believed. For her, it was never about Kyrat. It was always about power. Same with Sabal. I undo my mistake of appointing her leader and give Kyrat a chance to start anew. As for the challenge, not counting the first sections, it's complete. To everyone saying, hey, you can do the alternative ending, teehee, there you go. That was the alternative ending. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you have any suggestions, want to discuss something, or just to say hi, drop a comment. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon.